Hey, what's going on, everybody? Robert Marzullo here with Ram Studio Comics, and I got another video concept for you. This is a tough one, so bear with me. This is foreshortening, and I'll be honest, it's even at my advanced stage in my abilities. Just kidding. I'm still aspiring to be an accepted professional in the big mainstream comic stuff, but I'll show you what I know about foreshortening, and just keep in mind it's a never-ending battle. You'll be studying foreshortening, especially really extreme angles, uh, forever. In drawing, that's just one of the tougher things, and you're always going to be striving to get better at it. So what I do, I'll show you a couple methods. This one, obviously, I just kind of sketched out a wedge, a block kind of form for the hand, real simplistic kind of palm coming out at you a little bit. And let's say that our shoulder is going to end up back here somewhere. Okay, now that's a slightly bent angle, and you're still going to see most of the arm here. So what I usually do, and I don't know if my way is the right way or the wrong way or whatever, take it as you will, but I start to kind of piece parts of it in. Okay, the reason I don't draw it all entirely at one, it forces you to kind of, I guess, exactly that, force pieces in there. So I slowly start to just kind of chisel away at it, kind of, I guess, in this particular way that I do it. So right now, all I'm doing is just kind of finding where the muscles are. I want to keep in mind that most of the time, in an extreme foreshortened angle, the hand, uh, just because it's on a slight angle from the arm, you can see a lot of the arm here. But the depending on the position that this is in, this form may or may not cover majority of the arm, and you may not even see as much of the arm. But because of this angle, I'm going to go ahead and fill this in. So I'm just kind of filling in these basic cylinder type fingers that come off the main structure of the hand right there. Okay, something like that. Now, a good thing to remember, the relation of the thumb generally goes with the relation of the bicep. If you watch your own hand and twist it, you can see that you can break that rhythm by turning your hand all the way around. But in general poses, if you move your arm around and you watch your bicep and your thumb, you'll notice that for most general purposes, they kind of stay in conjunction with one another. So just little things like that help your drawings to look a little bit more correct when you remember and follow stuff like that. Like I said, it doesn't apply to every position, but it's a good majority of them. So then you can start doing away with some of your construction lines. I like to work in blue line here so that if I'm trying to really fly through this, I can get a little bit of my construction lines down. Figure out the relationship to the chest, and say that's my foreshortened pose. I can go to my next layer. I'll go right to ink here, and then start kind of refining that. The bicep looks a little big there. And forgive me, this is going to be a little bit crude because I'm just trying to show you a couple quick techniques. I know these videos tend to be long, and based on the research that I've been doing, the videos that are longer, people lose interest and they don't do as well. So unfortunately, I have to mix this up with I want some important information in here, but I also got to do it in a timely fashion, or you'll lose interest. So message me and let me know if that's spot on there. I don't know if in this particular genre, if these being more educational uh, keeps you enticed and you don't feel the need to click off something, or let me know if I could explain it better and basically try to develop a good following on here, and make sure that people are learning from the videos that I'm delivering, and that I'm doing them in a fashion that they would like to see them in. So there's kind of that foreshortened pose. Um, Making sure that each object that comes before the other portion, hand. We'll break this up as hand, forearm, upper arm, shoulder. That each one previous to that should take precedence to the one behind it in this foreshortened pose. So, in a more extreme angle, you're going to get a bit more of like a fisheye view, and in a lot of angles like that, where the hand's up close to the camera or viewer, the hand's just going to take control. You'll see photography, especially ones where they hold guns towards the camera. They always want to make that a more intense view, and the hand and the gun is the largest thing, and it just pretty much blocks out everything else in the picture. So, just notice things like that when you study photos, and you'll start getting an idea of how perspective works. So that's a quick foreshortened comic book type arm. We'll do another pose now. Let's try one where, let's do it where the hand is above the arm. Okay, so I'll start off with that block shape again. The good thing about this is it kind of gives you a visual of where the hand is in conjunction to the arm, and what shape the hand should be drawn in. And it's as easy as doing that. It looks just like a kind of a mitten or something, a glove with the fingertips cut off. And what makes it so easy about that, it's a real easy shape to draw, but now based on that positioning, I can break it down to where the finger holes are and all that good stuff. The pads of the hand. But this is all this is preliminary. Now we'll get the position of the arm. Another method, you can do the wrist opening back here, but you don't want to muddy this up too much. But another method, and this may work well for you, it may not, is to kind of scribble the shape of the arm. There's the forearm, right? Now to scribble, I shouldn't say scribble, but there's the connection with the bicep. And see how I kind of pictured that ending right here behind this forearm? I mean, it's a little bit hard to see right there, but with some practice you'll get used to it. The way I look at it when I do it this way is I picture that I'm doing like a 3D rendering. So I get used to seeing these lines and kind of picture them in a 3D kind of idea. Now here I want to roll these fingers up. Oops, no fingers bigger. Like that, and then make sure they don't all point in the same direction, because that's not how the hand works. And that's rough, but I'll show you how even that can get me to a decent enough perspective arm. It's very scribbly, very it's almost hard to make out. This doesn't look like much there, but now I'll show you why that's it's not that far off from what I needed to do. And if you have a harder time, you can break that up into a couple layers or a couple overlaid sheets of paper on a light table, however you're doing it. So now what I do is I pick out the lines that I want, and I usually start with the silhouette of it. So there's the shoulder, right? The bicep comes in, it blocks the shoulder, and then sweeps down in and under the shoulder muscles, okay? And then the forearm, same thing, kind of a sweeping motion. Make sure that you give it a little bit different direction. Don't use the same exact line as you did here, or it'll look too amateurish, I don't know, but just don't do it. Try to break it up and make it look a bit different. There's kind of the shoulder breaking into the chest. Now the tricep down here is going to be visible from this angle. Elbow, which you're probably not going to see, it's probably going to get blocked by the forearm. Now the forearm is going to look larger from this perspective, and you're going to get some bottom details from the wrist and maybe the veins and the shadowing down there, but that could be filled in later. And the biceps kind of got to roll back into this way. You get that little, I think that's more of a bone that shows through right there, but again, I'm not going to get too much detail going here. I'm trying to show you how those little scribble lines gave me what I needed to see this hand in perspective. And to tell you the truth, I've actually been using that one a lot more lately. It's really strange. It gets more and more comfortable to use as you do it. Well, like any aspect of drawing, obviously, but I don't know, something about it is like very organic and realistic when you start using it more. I don't know, the cone drawing in all reality to me seems like it makes things come out a little bit too stiff. The more I use it, I know it's kind of the way of the old pros and things, but teach their own. I think that you know we all have a different type of artist mind, and the various things that what works for me may not work for you, and vice versa. So you gotta experiment. So I particularly like that one. Now, and both look decent enough, but I just like that style. Now I'll try that again, and let's see what's another popular pose. I'll do one that's not as foreshortened, but you're going to use it a lot more. You got to think in terms of when you're illustrating these books that you got to have a variety of go-to poses, that you can just grab from. And excuse me, because I'm starting to notice that finger looks really huge right there, so forgive me on that. But yeah, some go-to poses that you just say, because you got to understand, you're drawing a lot of different scenes, and you're going to have some real typical ones. Well, one real typical one, and I'll do it in the standardized way that you'd probably draw something like this. The arm coming out, and then a fist, right? Something like that. This is going to be a little bit larger because that's the one coming out at the camera, and then we'll do the method I just put down a moment ago. It makes things look very stiff. And there's your perspective arm coming out from the, kind of like the flexed and I'm ready to battle, something like that. So there's the chest, the lat, and you're going to get a little bit of the tricep here, remembering that the bicep is going to be more in conjunction with that thumb. Actually, since the hand is tilted all the way up, though, the thumb will end up over here. The bicep will stay straight to the front of the arm there. You'll see you'll see the forearm in good definition right there from this angle. So I use that as my my first layer, and actually I'll convert that to a blue line, and go to this next one. And since this is a more simplistic arm style, I've probably only drawn this pose, I don't know, 1,001 times, whatever, so I'm not going to really have to think about this one too much. That bicep's a little bit big right there, and then you would get a little bit of the tricep off to the side of this. Let me redo that, like that. Kind of comes on an angle, then the shoulder connects there. Some does this funky thing like this. Something like that. Whatever. I mean, not perfect, but you get the drift on that one. I mean, doing this is more of an explanation. If I wanted to refine it, I would just keep sketching over it and doing new layers until I got it just right. And actually, from this angle, the tricep's actually so big you'd probably catch a little bit on the inside there. Okay, so that would be that traditional or very typical comic book arm. Now we'll do the same thing with the Scribble Method. That's the technical term for it, the Scribble Method, and see if that works. So again, I'll start with shoulder. Kind of 3D it in my mind. There's a little beehive there, but that's the shoulder. The bicep area and the forearm coming out at you. I'll even try to make it a little bit more in perspective on this one. See if I can upstage the other drawing. And then the fist area, and the fist can just kind of be blocked, and then circles for the fingers, something like that. I'll take this a step further. I'll just do the chest, the side, the trap. Okay, so now that's our basic scribble start to this. I'll go to the next layer, try to ink over it, and this style of drawing over it can be referred to as rope drawing, and that's where you basically know where the muscles are going to end up on this. So that's what you go for, how the muscles would interact with this perspective, and that's what you draw. You just where the bicep would end, where this little part of the forearm would come around. Infamous shoulder muscles, which are always a pain because they're extremely easy to get wrong. I do not know why they're so complicated, but for me they are. You just kind of do like that, just interweaving lines, and see how just that little bit looks more natural than that one up there. This one to me looks just a little bit more robotic or too stiff, and this one down here has a little bit better flow. So that's pretty much why I've switched up gears and tried this method. I feel a little bit more comfortable with it, and I've honestly only been doing that portion of the method, the scribble effect, for only, I don't want to say just a few months now, if that. Might actually be closer to only 1 month, but like I said, it's very organic and natural feeling. It just kind of feels right, so I'll keep dinking with it and see how far I can take that method before I find something else that I think applies. But figured I would show that to you guys and try to help out with foreshortening, because it can be a very tough subject. If you have any more questions about it, let me know. I want to try to explain stuff and help people. But yeah, I'm actually more impressed with this bottom one than that top one, and that's exactly why. So this would be your cone drawing style, which works and would still work for a lot of people. This would be the infamous scribble style, scribble technique, and those are the different results that you would get with it. So hopefully that helps you out. I do feel like I should do at least one leg real quick, because I just did arms here, and legs are another trick you want to do in perspective. So I'll just do a real fast leg, and then we'll call it good. So again, because I know these videos, when they get lengthy, can be tough for people to sit through. So a very quick leg would be same method. Here's the leg to the knee. Okay, there's our knee, and then the calf recessing down to where the foot hits, the foot coming out to the base, like so, and that's it. Now I'll go to the other layer and do the rope drawing over top. Excuse me, this one's kind of oogly. A little bit oogly. I'll get there though. I'm just trying to show off the technique, so with practice, do this a couple times, I could get this thing to look right. But and the foot, The infamous foot. Oh, that is one ugly foot. That looks like a foot that got ran over by a truck, but that's fine. And then actually the upper leg would be a lot beefier. But you get the point there. I just want to basically show you the technique, and then you can go through and do all your texturing, rendering, shadowing, like fun stuff. But this helps you understand how to get to that point and get something, a little bit more realistic looking than, the traditional. Like I said, I actually believe that the cone drawing version makes the stuff come out a little bit too stiff and robotic. So follow these steps and you should be able to get a more fluid rendering of what you're looking to do for your comic illustration or just your drawing in general. So hopefully this has helped you today, and be sure to subscribe and like the videos if you don't mind, so I can keep bringing them to you. And be sure to check out the Blackstone Eternal comic, because that's the way that I get my stuff out there, and it's a book that I'm trying to promote. And thanks for watching, and more to come. So check us out and stay tuned for more. Take care. Bye bye.